Well, good afternoon. I'm glad to be here today after another successful weekend of peaceful protest. I'm glad to say no arrests at all this weekend related to the protests. I do want to talk about an issue that's a burning issue to a lot of Detroiters and people in the suburbs too, and that is the ridiculous cost of car insurance. 2 weeks from Thursday, July 2nd, the great majority of Detroiters and suburbanites will have a chance to lower your car insurance by hundreds of dollars. You're going to have control over what you spend on these medical expenses and how you do it. In many cases, the savings are going to be very large. Here's the thing that's starting to concern me. We aren't seeing the insurance industry doing what I think they ought to be doing as far as letting people know July 2nd, you can change your coverage and you can lower your rates. I have a member of my staff whose 6-month insurance policy is being renewed on June 28th, and her agent told her she can't get her rates lowered till December 28th because she's been renewed for another 6 months. That's just not true. In this state, you are entitled to change your insurance any day that you want. And here's what I've come to realize is these higher rates that we're paying in Michigan, the insurance companies make more money on the higher rates. Your insurance agent makes more money. They work off commission. They make more money on the higher rates. The doctors in the hospitals make more money on the higher rates, and the lawyers make more money on the higher rates. Basically, everybody is pushing against your right to lower your car insurance. And so Thursday night, July 2nd at 7 o'clock, I'm going to do on channels 10 and 21 and on cable TV in Detroit, and also Facebook Live on the city webpage. I'm going to take you through how this law works and what your choices are. And if you want the opportunity to lower your bill by hundreds of dollars, you tune in Thursday night at 7, and if you do it, have your insurance bill in front of you. Actually take out the bill from State Farm or Allstate or AAA, whoever. Have it in front of you, because I'm going to put a bill on the screen. And I'm going to take you line by line through your bill. And I'm going to tell you what your rights are. But the thing that I'm sure of, you won't get nearly the savings you're entitled to if you don't shop around, you don't call up, and you don't demand your rights on July 2nd. You have the potential for significant savings. But nobody's going to give it to you. We're going to have to go and demand it. And so Thursday night, it may be a little on the boring side, but I'm going to show you how you've been getting screwed and what your options are to fix it and exactly how to go about it. So if you think your insurance rates are too high, please watch that night, and I'm sure a bunch of the folks will be mad at me for showing them how to cut your rates. I want to do a congratulations to Denise Fair, who's busy working today, but the Detroit Health Department has now crossed 50,000 tests for COVID-19, nearly 40,000 at the fairgrounds and 10,000 in the Abbott 15-minute tests. 50,000 tests the city of Detroit has conducted in the last 3 months. That doesn't even count anything at the hospitals or the doctor's offices, just what the city has done. And it's been an extraordinary accomplishment, and Denise and the team deserve enormous congratulations. We had 96 hair and nail salon owners, barbers tested over the weekend. You're going to get a chance to hear from 2 of them today. And 95 tested negative, 1 tested positive. And I'm really glad that one who came in got tested, because you think about that one barber who might have seen 30 or 40 people this week. That's the way this virus can spark back up and respread. And so we're going to continue to offer the testing on an ongoing basis to our hair and nail salon workers and our barbershop owners. The other thing is, it'd be good news for some, not for others, but we have eliminated the hazard pay for the City of Detroit employees starting this week. And so 9 weeks ago, when we put the hazard pay in place, I said that we were going to leave it in place until the governor eased the restrictions, the stay-at-home rules. We didn't end it 3 weeks ago when she opened up the factories. We didn't end it 2 weeks ago when she opened up the restaurants. But this week with the hair and nail salons, we feel it's an appropriate time to do this. And so it's about $8 million that we have spent on our police, our firefighters, our bus drivers, and many of our other employees who are working face-to-face with the public. And $8 million is a lot of money at a time we were cutting $350 million out of the budget. But those folks were putting their lives at risk. And so for the employees who have been accumulating that money, you will get a check the first week of July. It'll be a lump sum check, as we said before. So somewhere in the range of $8 million in checks will be distributed in the early part of July. You helped us get through a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic in a way that few other cities saw. We dropped faster than anybody. So far, we've stayed down. We need to be careful because it'll spike back up in this city if we're not. But I just want to say thank you to the men and women of the city. And I do believe you deserved the additional pay. And I know that'll be a welcome check next month. This Friday is Juneteenth, and I think by now everybody knows the history of Juneteenth when the Union officers let the people of Galveston know that the enslaved people of Texas had been freed. And over the years, Juneteenth has become not just a celebration of freedom, it's become a celebration of black culture in America. And last year, Charity Dean, the head of our Civil Rights and Inclusion Office, hosted a series of events on behalf of the city, in which this is the first time the city of Detroit held official Juneteenth events. This year, Charity Dean and her team have got an entire week's worth of events, and it is a great time to celebrate our community. And with that, I'll turn it over to our director, Charity Dean, to talk about what we have going this week.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So we are excited to celebrate Juneteenth as the city of Detroit. As the mayor mentioned, Juneteenth is a time to celebrate freedom, but it's also a time to reflect on where we are. And we know we still have a long way to go in this country. And so with that in mind, our department and the city is putting on a week-long of thought-provoking discussions. And the thought is that not only are we celebrating what it means to be black in America, frankly, what it means to be black in Detroit, but we are going to inspire everyone that participates to change. There is a role for all of us to play. And so we are partnering with our partners, with City Council, with Council President Brenda Jones has a number of events this week. And I'm going to just talk to you a little bit about what to expect this week. All of our panels will be streamed live on Facebook, on the City of Detroit's Facebook page. They will also be playing on the City Channel 21 the following day, so you'll be able to catch them either way. We're going to start off today with a conversation about the history of Juneteenth, and we're going to start off with a conversation about Detroit history related to Juneteenth, and we are going to be talking to Detroit historian Jamon Jordan today at 6 o'clock. Tomorrow, we're going to be focused on health, so we are going to have a conversation around mental health, and then we'll have an opportunity to do some physical health with a live workout. Wednesday, we're going to be talking about black education. Black education matters. We're going to talk about HBCUs. We're going to talk about education, the education system as it is today, DPS and charter schools. And then we're also going to be talking about what it means to build wealth in the black community, growing the black dollar. On Thursday, we're going to join Council President as she is hosting an event called Black Voices for Black Lives, talking about criminal justice reform. We also are going to follow that up with another conversation about criminal justice reform, fixing a broken system. And we're going to also hear from black businesses throughout the week. We're going to end this celebration with a rally in Spirit Plaza on Friday at 10 a.m. This rally is going to really be a culmination of the week's events. And again, it's going to be a call to action for all those that are there. So the NAACP will be at the rally registering folks to vote. We'll have the census out there so people can sign up for the census. We'll have Project Clean Slate so that people can sign up to get their records expunged. We're super excited about the work that all of our partners have put together to make this an exciting time. And although, we have a lot to be frustrated about right now, we also have a lot to celebrate as Black people. And so we're excited to bring everybody together to celebrate on this Friday. So more details about how to celebrate Juneteenth can be found at detroitmi.gov/CRIO, which is CRIO. But just expect to have a really good time celebrating the Black experience in America. We'll have a soloist from the Detroit Youth Choir coming out on Friday. We're going to have speakers and dancers. We're going to do a libation ceremony. We're really going to celebrate what it means to be Black. So super excited, and I hope to see you there.
So thank you, Charity, for all the work that you have put into this, and you can't celebrate the aspirations of the Black community without celebrating the creative community. And so Rochelle Riley, the city's arts and culture director, came forward with a plan, and she said, I want to shut down a stretch of Woodward, and I want to engage the artists of the city in the city center to celebrate this. And I want to thank Detroit City Council, which approved the closing down of Woodward, and to talk about what our artists will be doing this week, Rochelle Riley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I wish I could take all the credit, but as we have seen over the past 14, 15 days, there have been voices rising from the street crying out for everything from justice to changes in how we live. Well, some of those voices belong to young people who made requests to be able to paint some of those messages on the street instead of just shouting them from the street. And I thought that was a good idea. So the city issued an open call for an artist project manager to work with high school students to paint one block of Woodward Avenue, as you can see, for a single embrace call to arms against racism. The painting crew will comprise art students from the Detroit Public Schools Community District and students from Detroit Heals Detroit, a social justice organization for youth run by youth that fosters healing justice for youth who have suffered trauma. The mural will cover the west lanes of Woodward Avenue from Larned to Congress, and the street will be closed from Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. until Monday morning at 6 a.m. The artists and youth will be, the youth will be the ones who judge the art. We had 35 artists to sign up for this opportunity to work with those young people, and those young people will be choosing the artists, and we'll be announcing that tomorrow. And they will be painting all day Wednesday, so it will be dry in time for our city's Juneteenth celebration on Friday. The project was made possible by the Knight Foundation, Bedrock, and Motor City Paint, which gave us a half-price deal on all the paint that we needed for this project. So we want to thank people for doing that, and we look forward to announcing who the amazing person is who has agreed to work with these young people so that they can leave a message on the street. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Director Riley. And I've been given a note that since I don't read off of scripts, apparently I didn't clearly enough announce the insurance speech. So my insurance presentation will be this Thursday, June 18th at 7 o'clock. So this Thursday, June 18th, 7 o'clock, channels 10 and 21 in Detroit, Facebook Live on the city's webpage. My guess is some others will live stream it as well. The new law kicks in July 2nd. I wanted to give everybody 2 weeks to get to their employers and get to their insurance agents so you could take full advantage on July 2nd. Speeches Thursday, June 18th. Today, we've waited a long time for this, but the barbershops and the hair and nail salons are open, and I was really pleased at the number of individuals who came forward over the weekend, got their tests. Chief Craig, I went to call him this morning, he didn't answer the phone, which is very unusual. He called me back, told me he was getting a haircut, and he wouldn't get his haircut until his barber showed him the sticker from having gotten the Abbott test over the weekend, and the fact that he was negative. And everybody in this city should be asking your barber, your hairstylist, your manicurist, do you have your sticker? Can you show me that you care enough of my health that you got tested? And we want you to keep coming back every 2 weeks. There'll be free tests available, same way you got the first one. But with that, I'd like to turn it over to two folks who are very happy to get their businesses open. Kim Harry and Courtney Wilson. Kim, why don't you start us off?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I am one of the proud owners of Harry's Barbershop in the city of Detroit on Mack Avenue. It belonged to my late father, and so we are so happy that we're continuing that legacy. And so today it's a great day for not only Harry's Barbershop, but all barbershops and salons in the city of Detroit, because we're back in business. But we're not just back in business, we're back in business taking all precautions. And as the mayor stated, one of those precautions, the Kovat Test. And so my sister and I have to admit, I was a little bit afraid, but we made the call, and we went to get our test on Saturday. And it was extremely easy, Mr. Mayor. We were in and out probably, I would say, 30 minutes. And we're happy to say that we are negative. And all of our barbers, we recommended that they go and get their tests, and they complied, and they're negative as well. And so we will all have this. If there is a question, did you have your test, we can raise this and say, yes, we did. But we're also making sure we sanitize. And because of the city of Detroit and DTE, we received PPE kits. And so we're well-stocked, we're well-equipped, and we are back in business, and we are doing it the right way, making sure that we're safe and making sure that our clients and our customers are safe. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Well, we're glad you're back. And Courtney Wilson, you're open too.
Yes, we are. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for the opportunity to be able to take the rapid testing to prove to our clients that we care about them. It was important for us, my husband and I, to take the test. I am a licensed cosmetologist as well, and I wanted my clients to know that they were entering into a safe environment so that when they leave our environment at Anthem, that they would not be infecting their environment in the city. The testing was extremely simple. It was painless, and my husband and I are thankful to be negative of COVID. We have also advised all of our stylists to get tested, and they have, and they are negative as well. So we are excited. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, we're going to open this city back up safely. We are seeing other parts of the country where the infection rate is growing, and it'll probably grow a little bit everywhere as we reopen. But if we manage it right, it'll only be a little bit, and that's what we're going to try to do here in the city of Detroit. And with that, we'll take any questions. We have no questions today. Thank you all very much for being here. Go ahead.
Is there anything that comes about removal of the Christopher Columbus statue?
Yeah, I've been bothered for a while by the fact that the statue is occupying such a place of prominence next to City Hall right in Jefferson, and I supported City Council 3 years ago when they voted to eliminate Columbus Day as a holiday in the city of Detroit. But when I looked at some of the violence around the country, and in particular, you got people with arms gathering around a Columbus statue in Philadelphia, arguing with other people. I said, we just don't need this. We should have a conversation as a community as to what is the appropriate place for such a statue, but I don't want to have that conversation in the midst of at gunpoint or in the middle of arguments. So I just had them put it in storage. We'll have a conversation as a community, but I just don't think, because I felt with Cobo Hall, which I pushed very hard to change, I didn't think that our convention center, a national symbol of the city, should be named after somebody who really did a lot to make the lives of African Americans worse in the city of Detroit. And I just didn't think this was the right location of prominence. I think if you got a spot next to City Hall, that is a place that should be a symbol of unity. So I'm sure we'll end up with the right solution, but I just didn't see any reason to have any drama. All right, with that, thank you all very much.